Let's go to our weather view controller, and before we do anything, I'm going to, when my Xcode crashed, none of the connections worked, so we are going to redo them. Another way of opening our assistant editor is having one of the file already opened, and then you just option click the one you want to open in assistant editor here. So I'm going to use my page control, and we need also the scroll view here. So I'm going to drag and to the connection, and let's call this weather view, weather scroll view. Let's just do the connection, and then we need to have our page control. Let's call this page control. All right, and we can close our assistant editor, and also let me get rid of this code here. So we have left with our two connections here, and with our view did load, and I'm going to put some marks here for us to be easier. Let's see, empty tab, let's get rid of this. So for us to be easier to find our code in our help area here on top. So right now we have three things, two properties and a function here. So I'm going to put a mark here and call this IB outlets. And here I'm going to put another mark and call this view lifecycle. All right, so let's see what we need to do here. Whenever our user opens the application, he is going to be displayed with this view. So let me just run my application. So we have our simulator running, and I will show you the ready application so you can see how it will be when we are done. So this is our current application, and let's see what's the crash for. Whenever you see the Siga bird, is you have some kind of misconnection, and the way you find it, just scroll up, and this is usually once this number finish, the first line terminating up due to uncocked exception reason, and I think this is because set value for key, the class. Okay, let's see what this is. I'm going to stop and just jump to my story port here. I think because of this crash, some of the connections are still here. So we are going to, So look, when we select our scroll view, because we did two connections only, the scroll view and the page control. So if I open that one, so this one has one connection. So the problem is not the page control. So if I select the scroll view, you can see that it has two reference outlets. One is scroll view and one is weather scroll view. And our issue is with scroll view here, because there is no such thing as scroll view variable in our code. So in order to get rid of our problem, we just select this and click on a small X next to the scroll view. So if I build and run my application again, we shouldn't have any more errors. See, our application is here, and we have the button, and we have page control, etc. But what we need here is to see our ready application. So once we open, let me see if we have a hardware location. And we need to run our application again, I guess. Okay, So it's loading the weather for the London now. So we have our scroll view here, and what it does is it's loading the area with all these user objects. So what we want to create is another view that will have all this information, and we will be able to put this view inside our scroll view so that we can slide from left to right. So if I add another location here, so let's say Limassol, Cyprus, and now we are going to have two cities here, Limassol and the London. So we can scroll from left to right, and pay attention, when we have a scroll view here, is not for this up-down scroll. We are using the scroll view for vertical scrolls, so from left to right or from right to left. This vertical scroll is a different thing. We are going to get to it later on, but right now our scroll view is, this is what it does. So it takes different views, which is one view, all this, and puts in our scroll view, and then another one for this. So we need to create this user interface in a separate file, so we can load it over and over again every time, we can reuse it for every city we have in our system that we want to see. So if I select my scroll view in my user interface, we want to make sure that we can do the page enable here, so it will be like 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, so we can use that. And the other thing, we want to get rid of these show horizontal and vertical indicators. These are the small white bars going up and down or left and right, because we don't want to show this. The only indication will be our page control on which page we are. So that's it with our scroll view here. So if we get back to our weather view controller, what we want to do in our weather view is to download all the weather information using, of course, our model that we created, and then to have some kind of class that we can create, which will be the display of our weather for each city. And we take this view and we put it in our scroll view. So imagine this all is going to be one view, whatever you see on the screen and a little bit down. So this will be one view, and we will take this view and recreate it over and over again, and we just add it to our scroll view. So this is going to be a separate file. What I want to start with is just to get all the data we need from our model here, and then we can build our separate view that will show our weather information.